Hello and welcome to part 36 of Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. When we left off, Naegi told them that his room and Mizono's room had their nameplates swapped. The nameplates? Yes, just like the room exchange. Because of that, the nameplate on Mizono's room where Naegi was said Makoto Naegi, and the nameplate on Naegi's room where Mizono was said Sayaka Mizono. In other words, Mizono really was in the room with the Sayaka Mizono nameplate. So if they did as the note said, they would have gone into Naegi's room where Mizono was. On top of that, their rooms are right next to each other. Perfect for a nameplate swap. So who did it? Naturally, you didn't do it, did you, Naegi? No? Then, who are you saying did it? Who would have swapped the nameplates? It could only have been that person. The only one other than me who knew about the room exchange, which is Sayaka Mizono. The only person who knew about the room exchange in the first place was me and Mizono. Therefore, other than me, the only person who could have swapped the nameplates is Mizono. You can also infer that from the content of her note. I wish to speak with you alone. Please come to my room in 5 minutes. Be sure to check the nameplates so you don't get the wrong room. She told the recipient to check the room's nameplate. She couldn't have written that without knowing about the nameplate swap. But why would Mizono do something like swap the nameplates? She wanted to call someone to the room she was in while keeping the room exchange secret. Huh? What's the purpose of doing that? Calling on someone while still keeping the room exchange a secret? In order to understand that, we need to know what happened in the room after she invited that person inside. The answer is in that knowledge. What happened after that? Most likely the person Mizono summoned came after her. What's this? We've stumbled upon the culprit? The person summoned by that note is the culprit? And we don't know who that is. That's the whole problem. Mizono and the culprit first had some sort of struggle in the room, yes? By any chance could the answer to that question lie in the struggle they had there? Yes, precisely. So we've just got to figure out what happened during the struggle, right? That reminds me, there was a practice sort of a scene. Was that used during the struggle? Oh yeah, what's up with that? There's something I brought back for self-defense at Mizono's suggestion. I'm sure that's what the culprit used to break Mizono's right wrist. That practice sword was used to break Mizono's wrist? How the hell could you know that? Practice sword was used to break Mizono's wrist. The evidence of that is where the bone was broken. It couldn't be anything else. It's Mizono's wrist. Let's just quickly see if anything shiny can be seen additionally, except for the blood. Mizono's. Something shiny can be seen on the back of Mizono's wrist where it's being broken. There we go. I just had to check that real quick. See for yourself by looking at Mizono's broken right wrist. You see where her right wrist is fallen? There's something shiny there. Is that gold? Yeah, it's gold leaf from that practice sword. Just barely touched the gold leaf and it comes right off. And that's what's on the Mizono's wrist. Aha! She received a blow to the wrist from the practice sword. I see, I can feel the truth drawing nearer. Alright, let's exercise this mystery, dude. Let's expose every last detail of what happened there. What happened in that room. To reach the truth behind Mizono's death, we first need to reveal that. The non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to see a supplement tutorial? Why not? Should be getting fairly comfortable with non-stop debates by now. How about it? Starting with the next debate, your cylinder will be loaded with multiple ammunition. However, much like weak points, only one piece of ammunition can be used to win the debate. In other words, from here on out, you must logically determine both the correct weak point and the ammunition to refute it with. Should you reach the incorrect conclusion, your influence gauge will take damage. You can chamber different... Oh god, I've got to click the L button, but that's... this is going to be really difficult because I've got to use, like, buttons all over the place. Alright. So I'm using the 1, the 0, the I, the K, the WASD on my keyboard now, which is a bit of a pain. So, let's continue. By holding the L button, you can select different ammunition by moving the analog pad. Finally, if your logic is set to gentle or below, if your ammunition will be loaded. but just for this round your cylinder will be loaded with the same amount as malicious. I wish you the best of luck. Over and out. Oh, why malicious? Shit. Practice sword. Scabbard. Kitchen knives. Practice sword blade. Okay. Right, let's do this. This is the point where my grades start going down, I reckon. And the struggle began in that room. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. It's gonna be the scabbard, I reckon. Practice sword preemptive strike. No, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's the wrong place! Ah! That's the wrong place. All the wrong evidence. Oh? Oh my god. I'm a genius and I didn't even know it. No, it's not possible. The first strike was with a practice sword. What? Why not? Because of the damage of a practice sword scabbard. Of course. Nagi, you're a genius. And my foolishness has allowed you to show your true genius by proving that my randomizing of clicking the buttons and shit actually works. Just remember that, folks. If you need help with this, just click random buttons and it'll help. Basically like any game. See, there are these slash marks like it was cut with a blade. A blade? You mean the knife. That knife was the only blade at the crime scene. This ain't word association. Explain things more clearly. If the first strike was with a practice sword, then it doesn't follow that the scabbard to be damaged. I mean, if you're attacking with someone with a practice sword, wouldn't you normally draw the blade? Leave the scabbard on, it's just heavy and in the way, just one big handicap. Then why be the scabbard damaged? What if, for example, they were suddenly attacked with a knife and took the sword for defense? There wouldn't be time to draw the blade from the scabbard. In other words, the practice sword was first used in defense against the knife, which in turn means the first one to strike was the one who held the knife. I've got it. This is what happened. As soon as the culprit entered the room, he discovered the hidden knife, and using that knife suddenly attacked Mizono. He scrambled to fight back with the practice sword, but even that was taken from her. Then, after breaking her wrist with a blow from the practice sword, he took the knife, and no, it's not likely Mizono fought back with a practice sword. Huh? Why the hell not? Mizono didn't touch the practice sword. A particular part of her body makes that obvious. Some part of Mizono's body that shows she didn't use the practice sword. The area that she cut her palms, obviously, because otherwise it'd be on her palms where she held it. Talking about Mizono's palms, right? Mizono's hands were clean, so it's hard to believe she held a practice sword. I can tell that just by looking at her palms. I mentioned it before, but the practice sword's gold leaf comes off at the slightest touch. I am like fucking up my speech patterns all over the place now. A significant portion of the gilding on the practice sword's hilt has been rubbed off. Well, that's almost certainly because the gold leaf rubbed off on the hand of whoever used it. Since Mizono used a practice sword, it doesn't make sense for her hands to be clean. Couldn't she have just washed her hands when she fled into the shower? No, she couldn't have. Why? Why can you deny that? Is it because I'm ugly? No, that's not what I'm saying. You're wrong. Why? Because you're ugly. That is like the best counter-argument ever. I'm going to use that on my teachers now. When I prove them wrong in class. I never prove my teachers wrong in class. That hasn't happened since like year 4. Actually, it was like year 6. Can you guys hear that? It's a car alarm. I don't know whose car alarm it is. I know that it went off 2 nights ago and it kept me up until about 3 in the morning though. I'm not sure if it's the same car alarm. All I know is there was a car alarm 2 nights ago as well. There might be someone running around stealing cars in my neighborhood. Anyway, on with Dangan Ronpa. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's try and speak over that. If you can hear that, if you can't hear that, there's a car alarm. And I sound really retarded talking about it when you can't hear it. But if you can't hear it, then you'll understand. Some evidence that Mizono didn't wash gold leaf on her hand in the shower is clearly defined in some of the school rules. Something to do with the showers during the night time. The water was turned off. She doesn't like water. It doesn't come off with water. Shut up, car. You're annoying me. According to the Monokuma file, Mizono died at 1:30 AM. In other words, nighttime. Water doesn't flow to the showers during the nighttime, right? I had no idea. I've never taken a shower before. Oh, wow. You're the same way, aren't you? You smell like a channeled apple snail. To be fair, I don't think your martyr can fit in the shower, so you can't really have a go at him. You can fit, you evil bitch. Hey, is that a compliment? Criticism? She's criticizing you. It's pretty freaking obvious. Anyway, if she didn't touch the practice sword, then that means it was a culprit who used the practice sword. Wait, in which case, the person who slashed the practice sword scabbard with a knife was the person who slashed the scabbard would have to be the one who didn't have the practice sword. So, to see which one of these I answer, if you don't already know, you're an idiot, but to see which one I answer, join me for the next episode. It's on the top right. If you haven't seen the previous episode, what are you doing? Until next time, folks. Oh yeah, that one's on the top left. Until next time, folks. See ya.